So Gaston Ledford Chapter 10 goes into multiple baseline and multiple probe designs. We will focus on multiple baseline design rather than multiple probe. The key difference between those two is that multiple baseline uses continuous data, whereas multiple probe uses intermittent data collection. Again, we'll focus on multiple baseline, also referred to as MBL, throughout this lecture. So, multiple baseline design is basically a time lag design, which involves assessing multiple A B comparisons by implementing A to B condition changes at three or more different points in time for three or more target behaviors rather than introducing and withdrawing the intervention with a single target. That's on page 240 in Gaston Ledford, and that's their definition. So, what does that really mean? So, we'll go over some important points with MBL design. So, this is really used when returning to baseline is undesirable. So, we talked about some of those ethical concerns with the withdrawal design. Multiple baseline avoids those concerns. So we don't necessarily take the intervention away or stop the intervention to go back to baseline, but we use those time lagged, that idea of time lagged. So those comparisons between A B condition changes. So the other key point with multiple baseline is not only those unethical concerns, but you can also you can target those behaviors that are non-reversible. So when we teach skills or focus on skills that can't necessarily be untaught, the reversal design is not desired, whereas the multiple baseline would be. So often we focus on skill acquisition using this design approach. We can use multiple baseline design across different participants, contexts, or stimulus conditions, and responses and behaviors. So we can target all those different things. Gaston Ledford does a really nice job of describing what each of those types of designs look like. With multiple baseline design, experimental control is demonstrated by the repeated changes of the dependent variable by showing effects at different times with each successive introduction of the independent variable. The design requires quite a bit of planning for successful implementation, but it's effective. One of the defining features of multiple baseline is those staggered start of conditions or starting treatment at different times. Due to this, we can see that changes in behavior are due to the intervention rather than other factors. And with multiple baseline, it's really important not to start intervention or treatment until a stable baseline is observed. Kasdan and Kopel, 1975, that article, which is linked here, provides a really short and great explanation of multiple baseline. They also provide the below graph within that, which is, again, just a really nice graph that shows exactly what you'd want to see with a multiple baseline design. So this pattern really just, this pattern of the data really shows a nice multiple baseline effect. Yeah, so please review that that article, Kasdan and Kopel. It's a really short and sweet, succinct explanation of multiple baseline, and I think that will help put all the pieces together from Gaston Ledford.